The signal from beyond. The Tseldrian homeworld was dying. What had once been a verdant paradise of sweeping azure plains and crystalline spires now lay in ruins under a sky turned crimson with toxic particulates. Their sun, once stable for billions of years, had begun emitting devastating solar flares that penetrated their once impregnable magnetic field. High Emissary Thelox stood in the central chamber of the last sanctuary, a massive underground complex housing the remaining 3 million Tseldrians, staring at the quantum transmitter. The device, their final technological achievement, had been broadcasting a desperate plea across the galaxy for the past 7 cycles. Any response? Thelox asked, his luminescent skin flickering with anxiety patterns that matched the faltering lights overhead. Chief Technician Rizara adjusted her sensory appendages against the receiver. Nothing since the Galactic Federation's formal denial of aid. Her voice resonated with the harmonics of despair. They cited Directive 47, non-interference with species experiencing natural extinction events. Thelox's secondary eyes closed in frustration while his primary set remained fixed on the star charts. Natural. There's nothing natural about this. The Federation knows it. The hegemony of worlds sent their deepest sympathies, added Counselor Mavericks from his monitoring station. They promised to archive our cultural database in their Museum of Extinct Civilizations. How generous, Thelox replied, his bioluminescent markings flashing with bitter irony. We're offered immortality as a museum exhibit while we die in reality. The underground chamber trembled as another solar flare struck the surface. The power fluctuated, causing the quantum transmitter to momentarily falter before backup systems engage. The shelters in Sector 7 have collapsed, reported Defense Minister Zorbak, his voice tight with controlled panic. We've lost another 50,000. Thelox pressed his four-fingered hand against the cold metal of the transmitter. Broadcast again. Maximum power. All frequencies. Rizara hesitated. We're already at maximum. The remaining power reserves will only sustain the sanctuary for another 3 cycles if we continue. And what good is power if there's no one left to use it? Thelox demanded. Broadcast. Perhaps someone beyond the Federation's influence will hear us. The quantum transmitter hummed to life once more, sending out a desperate message in over 700 galactic standard languages. This is the Tseldrian civilization of the Andromeda Galaxy. Our homeworld faces imminent destruction from unprecedented solar activity. Our population of billions has been reduced to millions. Our children are dying. Our technology cannot save us. We require immediate evacuation assistance. Please respond. Please help us. We have much to offer in return. Please. Anyone. The message shot outward, past the disinterested ears of the Galactic Federation, beyond the cruel indifference of the hegemony of worlds, through the vast emptiness between galaxies, until it reached the edge of a small spiral galaxy that most advanced civilizations considered primitive and unremarkable. Admiral Helena Chen of the United Earth Space Command stood rigid as the alien transmission played for the 3rd time in the Situation Room. Around her, the military and scientific leadership of humanity sat in stunned silence, processing what they'd just heard. Translation confidence, she finally asked. Dr. Elias Okafor, head of genolinguistics, cleared his throat. 97%. Admiral. The message was transmitted in multiple formats, including mathematical universal constants. They wanted to make absolutely sure they would be understood. Distance. Approximately 2.5 million light-years, replied Astrophysics Director Kamala Sharma. It's from the Andromeda Galaxy. A low murmur spread through the room. So this message was sent. When? Chen asked. Based on quantum entanglement signatures, we believe it was sent only 12 days ago, Sharma answered. They appear to have developed quantum communication technology that bypasses traditional light speed limitations. General Williams scoffed. That's impossible. We're barely figuring out quantum communicators for our own solar system. And yet, here we are. Chen responded dryly. What do we know about this Galactic Federation they mention? Intelligence Director Alvarez stepped forward, activating a holographic display. Very little, Admiral. From the few alien contacts we've had in the Milky Way, we've pieced together that there is indeed some form of interstellar governance system. They seem to be aware of Earth, but have classified us as a pre-emergence civilization. Pre-emergence, Chen repeated with a hint of contempt. We've colonized Mars, established outposts on Europa and Titan, and are about to test our first FTL prototype. But we're pre-emergence. What about this solar flare situation? Chen directed her question to Dr. Sharma. The astrophysicist adjusted her glasses. The described phenomenon is theoretically possible. A normally stable star could be destabilized by various factors, including artificial ones. You're suggesting sabotage. General Williams leaned forward. I'm saying we can't rule it out. Sharma replied cautiously. Admiral Chen walked to the window overlooking Earth's orbital shipyards, where the prototype FTL vessel Prometheus hung in its construction cradle. The ship represented humanity's greatest achievement, the culmination of centuries of scientific advancement, unprecedented international cooperation, and humanity's relentless drive to reach the stars. It was designed for a historic test flight to Alpha Centauri, a giant leap for mankind. What would it take, Chen asked quietly, to retool Prometheus for a rescue mission to Andromeda? The room fell into stunned silence. General Williams broke it first. Admiral, with all due respect, you can't be serious. Andromeda is 2.5 million light-years away. Our FTL drive is untested beyond simulations, and we're talking about diverting our most valuable asset to rescue aliens we've never met based on a message we can barely verify. I'm aware of the challenges, General, Chen replied evenly. Dr. Okafor cleared his throat. Actually, the quantum signatures in the transmission included technical specifications. I believe they may have been trying to share their quantum drive technology with whoever received their message. Could we adapt this to Prometheus? Chen asked. Dr. Sharma studied the data. Theoretically, yes. Their quantum folding approach is different from our Einstein-Rosen bridge concept, but the principles are compatible. With their specifications, we might achieve a functional long-range FTL capability. The United Nations Security Council would never approve this, Director Alvarez warned. The Prometheus project has already stretched global cooperation to its limits. Chen's eyes remained fixed on the sleek vessel outside. Then we don't ask for permission, she said quietly. We ask for forgiveness. The room erupted in protests and objections. Chen raised her hand, silencing them. Humanity has spent its entire existence looking up at the stars, wondering if we're alone, hoping someone might answer our call if we were ever in danger. Now we've intercepted exactly that, a desperate plea from another civilization facing extinction. She turned to face the room. What does it say about us if our first act upon joining the galactic community is to ignore that call? What precedent does that set? Do we want to be the kind of species that turns away from suffering when we have the power to help? Dr. Okafor nodded slowly. The Tseldrians mentioned that they have much to offer in return. Their quantum communication technology alone represents an evolutionary leap for humanity. This isn't about what we get in return, Chen said firmly. This is about who we are. Throughout human history, we've defined ourselves by how we respond in moments like this. She straightened her uniform. I'm authorizing Project Salvation. We will retrofit Prometheus with its Tseldrian quantum drive specifications. We will assemble a volunteer crew. And we will attempt what no human has ever done. Travel to another galaxy to save a civilization we've never met. General Williams stood up. Admiral, I must formally object to this course of action. Your objection is noted, General. Chen's voice was steel. Now, will you help me save 3 million lives, or do I need to find someone who will? The room fell silent again. Then, one by one, heads began to nod. Outside, Earth continued its serene rotation, blissfully unaware that humanity was about to announce its presence to the galaxy in the most dramatic way possible. In the darkness of space, the Prometheus awaited its new destiny. Defiance against the stars. The Prometheus cut through the quantum fabric of space-time like a surgical blade, leaving reality and re-entering it in ways that defied conventional physics. Inside the bridge, the volunteer crew of 37 humans monitored systems that were rewriting scientific understanding with every passing moment. "Quantum fold complete," announced Navigator Sarah Okonkwo. "Position verified. We're in the Andromeda Galaxy, Sector 7A3, approximately 2.4 million light-years from Earth." A stunned silence fell over the bridge as the magnitude of what they'd just accomplished sank in. Humanity had crossed the void between galaxies, a journey that should have taken millions of years, in just under 2 weeks. Admiral Chen allowed herself a brief moment of awe before refocusing. "Status report. All systems operational," Chief Engineer Takashi Yamamoto replied, his voice tinged with disbelief. The Celdrian quantum drive specifications worked perfectly. Power reserves at 82%. Life support stable, added Dr. Amara Osai, the mission's chief medical officer. No adverse effects from the quantum transition detected in the crew. Chen nodded. Communications broadcast on all frequencies using the Celdrian protocols from their distress signal. "Let them know we're here." Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez activated the comms system. "This is the Earth vessel Prometheus responding to the Celdrian distress call. We've come to provide evacuation assistance. Please respond." For several tense minutes, there was nothing. Then suddenly, the communication array lit up with incoming transmissions, not just from the Celdrians, but from dozens of sources. "Multiple signals, Admiral," Rodriguez reported, his eyes widening. "I'm detecting communications from what appear to be Galactic Federation vessels. They're demanding we identify ourselves and state our intentions." Chen's jaw tightened. "Put the Celdrians through first." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a gaunt, four-eyed being with luminescent skin that pulsed with patterns of light. Behind him, others of his kind moved frantically through what appeared to be an underground facility. This is High Emissary Thelox of the Celdrian people," the alien said, his translator converting his harmonic speech into English. "We receive your transmission with disbelief." "You responded to our call." "We did," Chen replied simply. "I'm Admiral Helena Chen of the United Earth Space Command. We've come to evacuate your people." Thelox's secondary eyes widened in what might have been shock. "But the quantum communication specifications we sent, how did a pre-emergent species manage to?" "We're full of surprises," Chen interrupted with a slight smile. "What's your situation?" "Deteriorating rapidly," Thelox replied, his luminescence dimming. "Our sanctuary's structural integrity is failing. Another 3 million of my people remain. Our surface is completely uninhabitable now." Chen turned to her crew. "Begin evacuation preparations. Dr. O.C., coordinate with the Celdrians on biological compatibility issues. Commander Alvarez, deploy the modular habitats in our cargo hold." "Admiral," Rodriguez interjected urgently, "the Federation vessels are approaching our position. They're demanding we withdraw immediately. They cite Directive 47 and claim we're interfering in matters beyond our jurisdiction." Chen's expression hardened. "Open a channel." The view screen split, revealing a stern-looking being with metallic skin and 8 sensory stalks protruding from its head. The insignia on its uniform marked it as a high-ranking official. "Unidentified vessel." The beam began without preamble. "You are in violation of Galactic Federation space and interfering with a designated natural extinction event. Your presence here is unauthorized. Withdraw immediately or face consequences." Chen stood tall. "This is Admiral Helena Chen of Earth. We're responding to a distress call from the Celdrian people who have requested evacuation assistance." "Earth." The Federation official's sensory stalks quivered in what might have been surprise or disdain. You are classified as a pre-emergence civilization. Your presence in Andromeda is impossible and illegal under Statute 334 of the Galactic Charter. Yet here we are, Chen replied coolly. And we have no intention of leaving without the Xeldrian people. The Xeldrian extinction has been classified as a natural cosmic event under Directive 47, the official stated. Non-interference is mandatory. Chen's eyes narrowed. There's nothing natural about turning your back on 3 million sentient beings who are asking for help. Where I come from, we call that a moral failure. The Federation officials' metallic features contorted in what might have been anger. Your primitive species does not understand the complexities of galactic ecology and the natural order. The Federation has made its decision. And we've made ours, Chen responded firmly. We're proceeding with evacuation. If you wish to stop us, you'll have to do so by force. Be advised that while our vessel is not primarily designed for combat, we came prepared to defend our mission. The Federation officials seemed momentarily speechless. You would risk interstellar conflict, your entire species' future, for aliens you've never met. Without hesitation, Chen replied. Because today it's them, tomorrow it could be us. Before the official could respond, Chief Engineer Yamamoto called out, Admiral, I'm detecting energy buildups in the Federation vessels. They appear to be charging weapon systems. Chen never took her eyes off the screen. Shields to maximum. Prepare defensive countermeasures. The Federation official leaned forward. This is your final warning. Withdraw or be fired upon. Before you make that decision, Chen said calmly, you should know that the Prometheus is equipped with a quantum fold drive based on Xeldrian specifications. If you fire upon us, the resulting quantum cascade could destabilize this entire sector of space. This was a bluff. The Prometheus had no such capability, but the Federation wouldn't know that. Uncertainty flickered across the official's features. You're bluffing. Your species couldn't possibly master such technology. You already classified us as impossible. Chen replied with a thin smile. Care to gamble on what else we might be capable of? A tense silence followed. Finally, the Federation official spoke. We will withdraw to a safe distance and observe. Be advised that this matter will be brought before the High Council. Your species will face sanctions for this interference. We'll worry about that later, Chen replied. Now, if you'll excuse me, we have 3 million lives to save. The transmission cut off. Chen turned to her crew. Begin evacuation immediately. We don't know how long our bluff will hold. For the next 72 hours, the Prometheus orchestrated what would later be called the Great Salvation. Using shuttlecraft, tractor beams, and hastily constructed teleportation pads based on Xeldrian technology, they evacuated the remaining population. The modular habitats within Prometheus expanded to accommodate the refugees, while the ship's systems strained under the unprecedented power demands. Federation vessels maintained their distance, observing but not interfering. As the last groups of Xeldrians were brought aboard, High Emissary Thelox approached Admiral Chen in the main docking bay. Admiral, he said, his voice resonating with emotion, you have done what the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy refuse to do. You have saved my people from extinction. Chen nodded. It's what any decent civilization would do. No, Thelox corrected, his luminescence patterns shifting to what humans would later learn was profound respect. It is what only humans would do. The Federation abandoned us because they calculated the cost of intervention against the benefit of saving one species. You never made such a calculation. We couldn't leave you to die, Chen said simply. Not when we had the power to help. Thelox's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. The Federation fears you now. Good, Chen replied. Perhaps fear will make them reconsider their policy of non-interference next time. As the Prometheus prepared for its return journey to Earth, carrying its precious cargo of Xeldrian refugees, unexpected transmissions began flooding in from across the Andromeda galaxy and beyond. Admiral, Lieutenant Rodriguez reported with astonishment. We're receiving messages from dozens of species throughout Andromeda, and even some from the edges of our own galaxy. They're requesting contact with Earth. What kind of contact? Chen asked, puzzled. Cultural exchanges, technological collaboration, diplomatic relations. Rodriguez read through the translations. Admiral, I think we just announced humanity's presence to the galaxy in a rather spectacular way. Chen looked through the viewport at the stars of Andromeda, a galaxy that had been beyond humanity's reach just weeks earlier. Send a standard response. Tell them Earth welcomes peaceful contact with all species who share our belief in mutual aid and respect for sentient life. As the Prometheus initiated its quantum fold for the journey home, carrying the salvation of one species and the future of another, a new term began spreading through the encrypted channels of the Galactic Federation. Beware the humans. They come when called. For the first time in galactic history, a species classified as pre-emergence had not only crossed galaxies, but had directly defied the Federation's authority to save a civilization deemed unworthy of salvation. The humans had redefined what was possible, not through superior technology or military might, but through something far more powerful and far more dangerous. Compassion without limit, determination without restraint, defiance in the face of supposed cosmic authority. The galaxy would never be the same again. On Earth, as news of the Prometheus's successful mission spread, humanity united in celebration of their new place in the cosmos. They had passed their first moral test as an interstellar species with flying colors. And across 2 galaxies, a message began to spread among endangered and oppressed civilizations. If you need help, call Earth. The humans will come.